licensing artwork and what to look out for in contracts. That is what we're going to get into today. So let's get to it. So I recently did a project with Control Prepaid MasterCard. That is it right there. They licensed my artwork to be on one of their Artist Series cards. No, the number does not work, so you cannot use this number to buy a launch off of my dime, so don't even try it. But I want to sort of talk a little bit about what I look out for in contracts when working for companies that want to license my work. And the first thing you gotta look out for is, the who, what, when, where, and why, the terms. And the first term that I look out for is, how am I getting paid? Is it royalties or is it a flat fee? When it's royalties, you're getting a percentage of the cut of whatever's made. And looking at the percentage, you gotta look at, is it a percentage of the revenue or the profit, the gross profit, how many items are going to be made, things like this. So you're sort of invested in the success or the failure of that product. So you're sort of tied in. Flat fee, on the other hand, is something to where you're getting a flat fee and you're sort of not sort of concerned about the failure or the success of a product or whatever they're licensing. So flat fee versus royalties is really big when it comes to, how you are being compensated for your work. The next thing I really look out for is, what type of exclusive rights are they sort of looking for, or if they're looking for exclusive rights, because you don't want to be tied into a certain company. Sometimes these companies ask for exclusive rights and they're saying, hey, we want to use your work, but we don't want you to work with another company with another work of yours, or we don't want you to work with anyone else, or we don't want you to even put your work anywhere else. We want exclusive rights. So you really have to look out for, do they want exclusive rights to my work, or is it non-exclusive? They can use it and I can just use it for other stuff. I can make prints. So that's what I usually do. It's like I allow others to use my work, but I'm also able to make prints of it myself and sort of still, do my own practice without even thinking about, licensing my artwork for this other company. So that is something that you really want to look out for, because if they have exclusive rights and you're sort of tied into that, you're not sometimes able to do prints of your work or use your work for other projects. So that can hurt your sort of practice in many ways. So make sure you look out for that. And on top of that, make sure you look out for that you're not giving away the ownership or the copyrights of your work. You want to make sure that you retain all the rights. So definitely look at that contract with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that you're not giving up anything. After that, I always make sure I look for the length of the contract. A lot of times these contracts will last a year or 2 years, and sometimes it will last even longer. But you want to make sure that you're looking out for how long you're sort of obligated or tied into a contract, especially if they have exclusive rights, because sometimes they can say they want exclusive rights for this amount of time, and during that amount of time, they had malfunctions and they're not actually making a product, so you're not getting a royalty if you sort of decided to do royalties. So you got to make sure your contract works for you and you sort of game plan the best case scenario, the worst case scenarios. So looking at the length of the contract is really, really important. And also to make sure you have sort of an out clause or a kill clause. So if the contract is not working out for you, or if there's some sort of occurrence that happens, that you're able to get out of a contract. Because sometimes, like I said, you can be tied in to a contract that is not beneficial to you because something happened and you're sort of like you're stuck. So you want to make sure that you have an out clause or a kill clause to sort of get out of a licensing contract. Another really important part of a contract that I look at is usage. Where are they putting my work? How are they putting my work in this sort of platform? How are they chopping my artwork up if they need to chop it up? All these digital platforms, they need to resize different things. Are they putting text in front of my work if they want to use it for a banner? If they want to use it for this product, how will it look on this shirt? How will it look on this pillowcase? Things like this, you have to think about, how your artwork will be used by a certain company. Think about if your artwork is being used in a commercial or a movie. What type of movie is it? Is it something that you you agree with. So you really have to figure out, okay, what is my work being used for? Does it look kindly on my practice? Does it make my artwork shine, or does it make my artwork sort of, look really bad? And then that sort of comes off on me. So you really have to think about where my artwork will be used and how will it be used, and what type of manipulation are they going to do to it to sort of make it fit for what they want to. Like I said, all these different platforms have different sizes, so how will they chop it up? Things like this you really want to sort of make sure you pay attention to. And the next thing that I look out for is promotions, because as artists are becoming more and more influential, and brands and companies and retailers are understanding how powerful artists are and how we can sort of create our own fan base, our own network, our own sort of collector base and group of people that champion us, they want to tap into that. So you got to make sure that you look in those contracts and making sure that look for those clauses that say you have to post on your Instagram here, here, and here, or you have to post on Twitter, or you have to do interviews when we ask. So you want to make sure that you understand what you're getting into before signing those contracts, because sometimes I don't want to post. Sometimes they will tell you what to post. They'll give you the pictures, they'll give you the copy, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So you really have to make sure you're protecting your rights, you're protecting your energy, you're protecting your platform, you're sort of protecting your sort of network from the spam or unsolicited content that they want you to post. So you really have to make sure that you look into those contracts when it comes to the promotion part, because like I said, nowadays they sometimes throw that in there, and it's very often that they do that, and sometimes you just don't see it, or you don't even realize that it's in there. So make sure you understand the obligation when it comes to promoting, and if you don't want to do that, just make sure you take it out and tell them, hey, I don't do that, I don't really do social media, or I rarely post type of thing, and I don't want to sort of post anything that I'm not comfortable with. So that is something that you really have to look out for, especially nowadays. And lastly, make sure you do your research. One of the best things to do is actually ask other artists about how they work with companies, or if you know someone who has worked with a company asking you about licensing, make sure you reach out to them, because they can tell you a lot of the details, a lot of the nuances about how that company works with artists. And if you don't understand anything in a contract, make sure you get a lawyer. A lot of times in your sort of area, there will be sort of groups of lawyers that will have a sort of a program where artists can actually come to them and get legal advice. So definitely reach out to them as much as possible. Make sure you ask others, because that is where you're going to find a lot of the nuanced details of how to work with a particular company or particular brand or retailer or manufacturer. So make sure you do that, and you will be sort of a lot wiser when signing a contract. You'll know a lot more before signing it, because there's a lot of nuances when sort of sometimes working with these different companies. So make sure you do that and protect yourself. So like I said, I just finished up the project here, and it was a cool project, and licensing my artwork is something that I do all the time to agencies when it comes to sort of commercial work, or licensing product on items, things like this. So it's something that you really want to sort of look at, because it's very common in an artist's practice to do that with certain types of work. Some artists will do that more than others, but it's something that is always a possibility, especially because everyone needs art. Every sort of product and commercial and content that's out there uses artwork. So a lot of us are really benefiting from others loving our work. So we want to make sure that we protect ourselves as well. So hopefully this video helped out. If you like it, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you're notified whenever I do videos like this, and I will see you next time. Peace.